Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Regarding the concept of Nabuwat or prophethood, the misconception I will try to remove today relates to the fact that there are people who think that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is made from light. Now, this notion is derived from many places, and one of the major areas and the major verses from which this notion is derived is a verse of Surah Ma'idah. This is the 15th verse of Surah Ma'idah, and the words of this verse are, Ya Ahlal Kitab, qad ja'akum rasuluna yubayyinu lakum kathiran mimma kuntum tukhfuna min al-kitab wa ya'fu an kathir, qad ja'akum min Allahi nurun wa kitabun mubin. A simple translation of this verse reads, O people of the book, indeed our messenger has come to you, making clear to you most of what you hid of the book, and forgiving much. Indeed, there has come to you a light and a clear book from God. So from this word light, some exegetes have deduced that it refers to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, it needs to be understood first of all that whenever we try to determine the connotation of the word, the most important thing is to study parallel verses of similar import or similar intent. And if we do so, we'll find that this word light, whenever it is used in such a context, that light is being revealed by the Almighty, then it always refers to divine guidance. And we find that this usage abounds in the Quran. Thus, for example, about the Torah, the words of the Quran are, Inna anzalna Tawrata fiha hudan wa nur. We have revealed the Torah in which there is guidance and there is light. So, the Torah is also called light. Similarly, the Injil or the Gospel, the words about the Gospel are, وَآتَيْنَاهُ الْإِنْجِيلِ فِيهِ هُدًى وَنُورٌ. So we gave them the Gospel or the Injil, and in it is guidance and light. Again, we see that this word light occurs and it is used explicitly for divine guidance, and in this case for the Gospel. At another place, it is very clearly used for the Quran itself. The words are, فَآمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَالنُّورِ الَّذِي أَنزَلْنَا. So therefore, believe in God and His Messenger and the light which we have revealed, which of course refers to the Quran. It cannot refer to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ because he's already mentioned in this verse. So if we study these parallels, we come to realize that this word light is used for divine guidance at a number of places. Now, the second thing which needs to be realized as well is that the word bashar has been used by the Quran for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ at many places, which signifies the fact that he was a human being and he was not made of light at all. And there are many places in which this is mentioned. Just to give an example, it is mentioned at one place in Surah Kahf. The words are, Kul innama ana basharum mislukum yuha ilayya annama ilahukum ilahun wahid. Tell them that I am a human being like you. It has been revealed to me that your God is one God. So the word bashar is explicitly used for the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and in the presence of this, it cannot be at all believed or deduced that the word light in the other verse which I just quoted in the beginning relates to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So in the presence of this evidence, we can say that the Prophet Muhammad has been explicitly called a bashar or a human being by the Quran. Now, and as far as the fact that the verse nur occurs in that particular verse, it cannot be related to the Prophet Muhammad because parallel verses which I have quoted all show that the word nur, when used in this context, refers to divine guidance. Now, of course, it needs to be understood that in this particular verse, then what is the meaning of the word nur? Because the word divine guidance is already mentioned. The verse says, "Qad ja'akum min Allahi nurun wa kitabun mubin." So, of course, this means that the light has come and a clear book has come. So, if we study, as I said, parallel verses of the Quran, the word nur relates to divine guidance, but here divine guidance is already mentioned because the next words are Kitabun Mubin, which of course refers to divine guidance or a clear book. So here we will say that the word nur, of course, refers to Quran, to divine guidance, which is the Quran, and the word wow or the word wa, which is used later on, is for explication, is for tafsir, and the words nur Kitabun Mubin actually explain this nur. In other words, the proper translation or the correct translation of this word would be that divine guidance has come to you from God, which is the clear book of God. So we will relate this wow or this wa used here to that of explication, which actually explicates the word nur by saying that the word nur is actually Kitab Mubin or the open book or the clear book. So in the light of this evidence, we can very clearly or safely deduce the fact that it is not at all correct to assume that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was made of light or nur. The Quran explicitly says that he was a bashar, he was a human being, and at all places where this word nur occurs, specifically here also, This should not become a cause of misconception. The word nur, when used in this context, specifies divine guidance. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات.